Holy shit, dude.
There he is.
Dude, it's literally been 11 days since we last did this.
11 days. Well, you know what, Calvin? We'll get into it later, but Apex hasn't been playable in 11 days.
You know what? Honestly, yeah. Honestly, that's probably part of it. That's probably part of it. But I was just commenting on the fact that we are we're this podcast is like my bowel movements, very irregular, and so
I don't even. Let's go away from that. I don't want
to. Okay. Welcome to episode 25 of PexPals, the only Apex Legends podcast for the mediocre gamer. My name is CowVan,
and my name, I'm motherfucking JoelCupcake worldwide, baby.
Dude, holy shit! You're fucking on it, Joel. How are you doing, man? How you been?
If anyone hears some weird sucking noises all episodes, because I got throat lozenges in. NorCal's got this really nasty, like generic flu going around, and of course, so my week has been filled with two questions. Hey, is Apex working for you? And oh boy, did you get COVID?
Yeah.
And the answer to one of those is yes, and the answer to the other is no.
Yes.
Which one is which will be revealed later in this show. The second answer, I did not get COVID.
No COVID. That's good. Yeah, thankfully, no COVID.
I have had like terrible like sinus headaches and all that stuff. But you know what, Calvin? Besides that, you said it's been 11 days. There's been some cool stuff going on. I worked some cool gigs.
Yeah.
I had a rad hardcore show.
Yeah.
I had the Legends and Terror play. Some kid staged over wrong and almost died, and I had to say some prayers for him.
Yes, dude.
Kids out there, PSA, if you go to punk rock or metal or hardcore shows, if you stage dive, if you go face first, make sure there's people there to catch you. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
Please. For the love of me and CowVan, please just make sure someone's there to catch you. Besides that, Calvin, my Legendary Dad Bod Competition started.
That's right.
It has started. Today is the second day for the voting, but it'll be the third day for the voting by the time most people listen to this. If any of our listeners, if you care to support, just go to my Instagram at JoelCupcake or my Twitter at JoelCupcake. Yeah. The link is in my bio. You can vote for me once a day for free as long as you have a Facebook profile.
Yes.
And if you want to vote more than once, you can do so for $1. And all the money goes to the B+ Foundation, which helps battle children's pediatric cancer. I think I said that. It's pediatric, right? That's the correct word?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, sorry, you're smarter than me, Calvin. So,
but you're right, though. You're good.
But, so far in the 2 days, it's like broken down into groups of like 30 or 50 dudes. I am leading my group.
Yes, so dude.
I'm excited. I have 10 days total to make it to the top 15. If I win, 25 grand.
Yes.
And
we're also going to put this link on this PexPals episode everywhere. So if
it'll be in the description.
If you're interested in this, support my dear friend JoelCupcake here. Help him win $25,000.
Also, if you follow the show on social media, I'll probably be reposting. I don't like to repost my personal stuff, but probably just that I'll repost on our stories.
It's important.
Yes. Well, we talk about it on the show, so it's semi-relevant,
Yes.
But yeah, so I win $25,000, Calvin.
Yes, dude.
Which someone's getting a ring if I win that money. That's all I'm going to say. And it's not me. And a 2-page advertising spread in the Men's Journal.
Yes,
so
dude.
Maybe I'll use that to promote the show. You never know.
Of course. I love that shit.
Finger guns intensifies.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm on the tail end of this little nasty flu thing I've got. Today is the dog, the Pupperino.
Yep.
It's her 3rd birthday today.
Oh, that's right.
So we took her to the beach, let her run around. She loves the ocean. It's her favorite. It's her happy place.
I like that.
So that was tight. Besides that, the wheels of life returning. I learned a long time ago, the world doesn't stop for you.
That's right.
So it doesn't really matter. The bad things in my week don't matter. So, and I don't want to talk about them on the show. So how are you though? Well, like what's up, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just living my life. I think it was last week. I think this is a part of the reason why we forgot to do our podcast was last week. Joel and I were on another podcast called Gaming Together Podcast, and Yeah, so you just remembered. Yeah,
That's right. That is
Yeah.
why we didn't do ours.
that's why we didn't do our show. We were on a podcast called Gaming Together Podcast. It's a podcast all about co-op games and just the experience of playing games, co-op games specifically, with some friends. And our really cool dudes, Philip and Nave, host that show. And what was great about it is we got to talk about. It's funny because they don't talk about BRs and they don't talk about Apex Legends
No,
and
they
stuff
don't.
like that. And so it was really nice and cool to go onto the show and talk to them about it, about what we do and what the game, that we all enjoy and stuff like that. And we kind of talked about the evolution. It was mostly me. I talk too much.
That might be the best joke you've made in 25 episodes,
Calvin. But we talked about just like the evolution of co-op shooters and how it went from arcade games like Galaga to couch co-op to like Army of Two, and then now the most like common co-op shooter games you can probably do nowadays are just online games, and it's kind of like the only way you can really play shooters with anybody is online in some type of PvP type gameplay. But no, that's what I've been up to, man. I haven't really been doing much.
Calvin, I had a good time on that show.
I had a great time.
Everybody, if you love Calvin's voice, check out that episode we did.
Yeah. Gaming Together podcast.
If obviously we talk about Apex, if you want to hear us talk about, I think, two great games. We talk about the arcade console. What is it? Time Crisis, right? We talked about a lot.
Yes.
Time Crisis a lot, and we talk about, the shooter of Shooter Halo.
We talk about Halo. Yeah.
So if you want to hear us talk about some games outside of our Apex wheelhouse, other than I know we talk about Overwatch and we shit talk Warzone a lot on the show. If you don't want to hear about either of those, go check that out.
Yeah.
Great dudes. They've had a lot of awesome guests in the past. They're just two dudes that love playing video games together and talk about it. And you know what? I grew up, and you brought up Army of Two, Calvin. I loved that game.
It's a great game.
The co-op experience is not addressed enough, I think, in modern video games.
Yeah.
So if you're a listener of our show and you're like, man, I miss those days of the co-op experience, check their show out. It's awesome. It's
so dope. It's all about co-op games. But speaking of games, JoelCupcake, even though it's been a slow 11 days, what's your weapon of the 11 days?
So I know that our diehard from day one listeners, especially the homie Eyeless, got to shoot him out.
Yes.
I know he's going to call me out in the comment section on YouTube about this. My weapon of the week. And if you leave the podcast right now, Calvin, after this, that's completely okay.
Okay.
I am taking back something we've said in at least 5 episodes of this show, Calvin.
Okay.
My weapon of the week is the Mastiff.
The Mastiff. Interesting.
The beak, it breaks my heart to say this, that headshot nerf really hurt the beak.
It really did.
It really hurt the beak. And I don't know what it is about my gameplay lately, but at close range, I can't shoot anything with the Volt or the Eva right now.
Interesting.
I like point blank for some reason.
Right.
Like if I have a little bit of distance with the Eva, I'm still destroying them. Not a problem.
But close up.
But close up, dude, the two guns I'm having the most luck close up with, Calvin. We don't talk not counting the Havoc, because we all know that's the GOAT close quarters weapon. Is the fucking Mastiff and the Wingman.
The Wingy Dingy.
Dude, I've been hip firing the Wingy Dingy and crushing some fools. But that's not important. My official weapon of the week is the Mastiff, my friend.
Okay.
I had a game. I went 5 kills, 3 assists, and 2 reses with Gibby. Every single kill was with the Mastiff. Every time we got rushed, we were able to just use the bubble, had good teammates, and I was just slaying. And I just got in the groove, and now I know how to aim right with it, and I'm able to hit the shots, and it's a good deterrent to how aggressive everyone is at the game right now.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
if you hit all the pellets, like you mess them up, dude.
Yes. No, you really do. Even though they put the nerf on it, it still fucking cracks.
Well, the nerf is I understand what they're doing with the Eva and the I don't like the beak headshot nerf.
No,
I think they should have left the beak the way it was and just applied it to
bring back the hammer points.
We're gonna do a whole episode on this one day, Kellen. I promise you. I promise you.
So anyway,
so that's mine.
Okay.
The Mastiff. Interestingly, I love it with the 2x scope because
it's a really funny gun with the 2x scope.
you can hit the headshots with it.
You can,
like
you really can.
And honestly, for it being a shotgun, it has like the third least amount of bullet drop in the game, bro.
Yeah,
like you couldn't really far. Like we got pinched like in between the cave and cage at Kings Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
We were like down low by those barrels and like the little like cylinder silo titty things, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And like they were like up on that platform that's like the old destroyed house by Cage.
Okay.
And I just had the angle right, and I was just hitting the dude in the head every single time with the Mastiff pellets. And my teammates and I are like, I got no long range. I was like, I got a Mastiff. And they're like, yeah, let's get out. And I was like, why? I'm hitting him. And they were like, I hate you, Joel. Just stop. Just stop. But anyways, Calvin, what about you? What's your weapon of the week?
My weapon of the week, it was my weapon of the week a couple weeks ago. So I don't want it to seem like I'm just, not diversifying it.
Showing favoritism.
My weapon of the week is the charge rifle, specifically the golden charge rifle, and let me tell you why.
I'm going to interject and I'm going to roast you real quick.
Okay.
This makes you the same as the number one shit talk person on the show.
Who, Dan?
You and Dan Fonts are in love with that gold charge rifle.
Dan is only using the charge rifle because I'm using the charge rifle.
Oh.
So anyways,
here first, everyone.
I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? Okay, hold on. Let me take a step back. Okay. Gandhi. I've been trying to center myself. Okay. I've been trying to center myself. I've been reading a lot of books. Gandhi once said in his second book that he wrote, Gandhi said, "Fuck Dan Fonts, okay? Fuck him. I'm using the charge rifle. He's not, okay? And he's only doing it because of me."
My throat is so sore I can't really laugh out loud at you right now. But I wish.
So anyway,
if you watch the show on YouTube, you can see how hard that's affecting me.
So anyway, like I was saying, the charge rifle. Use the charge rifle. It's like I said before, man. People just stand there and they let you shoot them with the charge. Speaking of Dan, I was playing with Dan, our friend Dan, and I was playing with our other friend Colton the other night. I did 2,500 damage. I knocked this one fuse. I knocked him 4 times. And what's funny, I had 7 knocks, 1 kill. I had 1 kill, 1 assist, 7 knocks, 2,500 damage. Charge rifle. Like,
I love it.
People just stand there and I don't get it.
Nope,
Move. You're not going to beat the charge. Unless you have a Kraber, you're not going to beat the charge rifle.
Even with that buff to the triple tick, which I used the other day.
Yeah.
And it is nice with that fast charge time. But even with that, you're not going to beat the charge rifle.
You're not going to beat the charge rifle. Like, stop it.
Incredible.
Anyway, so there's been before we get into it, Joel, what are your impressions so far of the Evolution event?
So far, we'll get to like the glitchy and the bad servers and shit later. We'll do a little state of the game talk later.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Other than the fact that I am thoroughly conspiracy theory time, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin, I'm holding my fingers up so you can clip this part of the show later.
Got it.
They silently nerfed the Havoc and didn't tell us. Either that or the hit reg is just that disgustingly bad right now. I do think the L-Star still needs an adjustment. I'm not going to say it needs a nerf.
Okay.
But, the range on it especially, I think, is the main thing. I think the balls should dissipate or do less damage. You don't need to add bullet drop to the gun, but maybe it should just hit a little less hard.
Interesting.
Because, I'm being shot, across, You know, if you're at the end of what's the area?
Don't know.
Not lava. So there's 2 lava areas.
Yeah.
On the world's edge.
Lava City's in the bottom right.
Not the other one.
The other one, thermal. No.
No.
I don't know.
But
Anyway,
it's the one below the Bloodhound
Lava
area.
Fissure or something.
Yeah, lava fissure.
Okay.
So we're at that building at Lava Fissure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always that scan beacon across the canyon above those 3 little buildings.
Yes.
Some dude broke my armor with an L star.
Oh my God.
From that distance. Not okay. Like, so I'm okay with the damage the gun does.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get it. I get why they're doing what they did with it. But, dude, it should not be that efficient literally across the map. You know, it's already beating the Havoc with the turbocharger damage for damage. They at least let the Havoc have the range on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or something. It is like I literally am losing mid-range battles against an L-Star when I have like a G7 and I'm hitting headshots.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like there's actually no there's been no talk about it. Maybe I'm gonna have to do it, but there's been no talk about what constitutes what are the ranges for mid-range, right? Because 100 meters. Like you can wreck people at 100 meters. You can just wreck them with almost every gun. Like that's a fact, you know. And some guns excel more than others at that range. But even then, like at 200 meters, you can still wreck a lot of people with a lot of guns. And like the reason why people don't use guns like the G7 or something like that at those mid range because you cannot keep up with people. The G7 Scout and like the 30-30 repeater are supposed to be long range guns. They're supposed to be long range guns, and they're supposed to wreck at that range, right? That's because that's their intended purpose. But like they're getting beat out by LMGs, which is fine in some instances. But they're getting beat out by like R301s, you know, and the like. And so it's like at what point, like every gun I think should have a time when it shines. And and like, it's like you're saying, like some guns just don't have that moment. Some guns are just good all the time. It's really interesting.
You know, that brings me to my next point about the evolution of it. Actually, I won't go into detail. If you haven't tried the new shatter caps on the 30-30, I totally ship it now. Totally, like
it's
with the nerfs to the shotguns.
Yeah,
it's much more in line. Like it's not, especially if you're team shooting someone. Oh man, they're dunzo with that.
Really,
with the charge shot. Yeah,
I haven't done it yet.
Besides that, I love the changes.
Okay.
The rampart.
I have to admit, I have not been to Big Mod Rampart's new area.
I'm gonna go on record and say the Caustic Town takeover is still cooler.
Okay.
Just from the fact that it's like multi-levels, the way you open the thing to get the gold items.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But I am more excited about she's doing it again. Alexa, stop. Stop.
You're excited about what?
I'm more excited about landing Big Mod than I've ever been about any other takeover.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like the paintball ammo is just sick, dude. It's fun. It's hilarious. Like I love it. It's a cool little thing they didn't have to add to the game. It's one of those things I didn't know I wanted. Love it.
Okay.
So when you land, there's 3 containers worth of materials there. That's only 75 materials, right? So if you open all the pillboxes, the bins, whatever you want to call them, you can get up to 100 mats. There's 6 weapons inside Big Mod that have the paintball ammo. Okay. So it's 2 blue weapons, 2 purple weapons, and 2 gold weapons. Okay. The gold weapons cost 100 points. And then I think it's like 75 and 45 or 65 and 45 after that.
Interesting.
All the guns get a bigger magazine, which, yes, if you get the beak, it has 7 rounds instead of 6.
That's so funny.
It's tight. They do a little bit more damage because they're the custom weapons. They just feel better, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then so I mean, I love it. So you have that. You have a cool like voice line interaction about Rampart. Like, oh, I haven't been here since my early days. Like you can go interact with this, like the little, her little symbol that's on all the guns now with the R.
Yeah.
There's a cool little lore tidbit. I don't want to spoil that for anybody. You can go figure
Cool.
out yourself. I like it. It has a new, like, how when we talked about the throwback event, you said there was a lot of dead space on that map before.
Yes.
The area they put Big Mod was a lot of dead space for me.
That's very true.
And that pinch coming out of Geyser could be real shitty sometimes. So
Right.
I'm very happy that this is here.
That's good.
So and aesthetically it's tight. It's three levels. You got multiple zip lines. It's close to a jump tower. It's close to a res point. It didn't destroy Lava City. Like Lava City's still there.
I love Lava City, so I'm glad
it makes that whole area of the map like much more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I think what's really cool about the new evolution event is the increase in rampart, and you know what? We were talking about this. They did give her the heirloom, and that did increase her playability. But it's not the heirlooms. It's not because of the heirloom. It's because Sheila. It's because Sheila is mobile, and let me tell you, dude, mobile Sheila is so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you know what? As someone like you, you stay in crypto. You should love this even more.
What's that?
The Rampart buff, because now you do Rampart Crypto Octane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's been crazy, dude. No, the Sheila, mobile Sheila was probably the best thing they've ever done. I'm not even kidding, because what's so great about it is, like you absolutely can, because I have, and a lot of people have, obliterate an entire team, right? You totally can. But what a nice little detail that I noticed about it, what I thought was really cool, was that when you activate Sheila and you don't use it, like say you use half of it, right, and you put it away, your ultimate doesn't recharge. It stays half Sheila for the rest of the game. Which is so cool, because you're not just like constantly building Sheila back up and up and up. Like you're gonna put yourself at a deficit, and so if you don't use it, you're actually putting yourself at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really cool. I think that whole edition is really cool, and just seeing a lot of like of the barriers around, mounted Sheilas everywhere. I think it's so cool. I think it's really cool and like healthy for the game.
It needed. I like it because it's added a new, especially like you said, like just random Sheilas around the map.
Yeah.
It's added a gameplay physic that has been needed. You needed like the confusion or the element of surprise. Like this is the change I feel like they tried to interject into the game with Horizon, when all they did was just add something that should be deleted. Which she should still be deleted.
Yeah, delete Horizon.
Just get rid of Horizon. Anyways, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
The other thing I have to say before, I know we got a couple different points we want to touch today, is as someone who has always thought he was too powerful, I am very happy with the Revenant changes.
With Revenant changes,
bro, you can when you set the totem down. Not only do you hear it, that red pulse goes you can see it like at the other side of the map almost. It's like insane. So it's totally counterable. Like I have not been like rev jumped pretty much since it came out. You know what I mean? We haven't been snuck up on,
and so I always thought it was weird that Loba's shop was just like announced to everyone everywhere. I never understood that. But like Revenant's totem wasn't. So I thought that was a really good addition. Other than that, man, other than that, we'll get to our main topic, since we keep touching at it, and we need to talk about it.
But overall, I think I have the least amount of complaints for most of the changes. Other than, I will say, on the note of Horizon, they did secretly make it so her and her gravity lift, it's back to how it was.
They didn't secret. That was announced.
Well, but they like kind of snuck it in there around like Sheila being mobile.
Yeah.
And then we touched on it last week, but I think Sheila being mobile, that increases my argument, bro. Let Watson have a backpack and her ult is mobile on her.
That'd be dope.
That would completely.
I don't think you've never said this before. I that's a really good idea.
Really?
Yeah, you've never said that on the podcast.
Because Colton brought it up. The guy you were our buddy Colton No Fun.
Yeah. No, you never said
really?
mobile shield generator.
Oh, you know what? It's in my notes for like a backup topic.
Yeah.
We run out of time. But yeah, so I think that's like, dude, because then Rev his fireball's completely irrelevant. Even a Costa trying to push you through a small door.
You can run through a Gibby ult.
Exactly.
You could that'd be pretty cool. Anyway,
Bangalore would literally be useless.
Yeah. Well, so getting to our main point here, and it's this thing that it's been on everybody's mind. Everybody's talking about it so much. So, is that a churro? Are you eating a churro right now?
Trina just got back from the farmer's market and brought me a churro.
I love it. Where's my fucking churro? Anyway,
right here.
Yeah, shit. To the main point that we want to talk about. It's on everybody's mind, and so much so everyone knows about it. The developers are talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, and it's the state of the game. The game, and it's part of the reason why I haven't really been playing much this past like week and a half. And same thing for you. Same thing for literally everybody. The game is just unplayable. It's absolutely insane. So the game is so bad right now. Or it's better now, but it's been so bad that the devs were even telling people to unequip moving banners on your characters because that will cause you to get kicked.
Yep.
And it
the
just
servers
so
are that
happened.
unstable.
It just so happened to come out after an update, and it's a reoccurring theme. And Joel, as you know, for those who've listened to us often, we don't like to bash the game. We don't like to bash the game. We don't like to bash the developers. We don't like to bash the people who work tirelessly to make us this free game and give us content after week. And we're always getting new stuff, and they're always trying to do the best for us. But it just seems so odd that every single time there's an update, the servers go bad. And I don't. No, I was just saying,
were you done with your point?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, everyone keeps there's the giant rumor in the background that we're gonna get new servers eventually, but like, is that actually going to happen?
Well, so I have two things, and one leads into that point. The first is I've been doing a lot of solo queuing because a lot of my friends don't want to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I have way less issues when I stick to Xbox only lobbies. Way less.
Yeah.
Like to the point where like I'm only getting disconnected like once or twice every couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
The severe issues are when I'm cross-platting, which means the computer players are the most affected by this, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Secondly,
literally every game I go into, the first 5 to 10 minutes of every game that I get into, I'm running in slow motion.
Oh, see, it hasn't been that bad for me yet. So like,
yeah.
I will try to find the tweet from Respawn. Let me pull up my phone here. Long story short, Respawn's literally made a post yesterday or Sunday saying that they were fixing some stuff in the game today, which they did.
Right.
There's a patch they hit this morning. They're doing another patch tomorrow. And after tomorrow, the server should be back to normal. One of the tweets they posted, let me find it because I want to read it right because this is a big deal. Because like you said, I don't like to sit around and badmouth these hardworking people.
No,
they've been developing this game through COVID at home for us. I can't even imagine how hard that is.
Well, just the stress and the stress and the pressure of their management, right? Because if they're not turning a profit, if they're doing anything that makes the game look bad, that means they're not turning a profit, and then that means they're higher up, the executives who don't give a shit about the game, who just want to make $1. Are gonna get on them. They're getting shit on by pro streamers and professional gamers getting mad at them. Like come on, fix the game. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Like,
So
your career wouldn't exist if they didn't create this free game for you. So shut up.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Okay. So this is my issue with what we led into with the whole not talking crap on the devs.
Mm-hmm.
This was tweeted by Respawn on September 16th. I will read it word for word.
Okay.
An update on ongoing issues with @Play Apex stability. We are ramping up our server capacity today and have some scheduled fixes for tomorrow. However, we believe some problems will require work through the weekend. Sincere apologies. We're working as quickly as we can on a fix now. Since then, they have increased the rank split. They've extended it by a week so people can try to get their RP back.
Mm-hmm.
They have done the thing with the banners. They have done a little hot fixes. They've recommended things to help players be able to play the game. Mm-hmm. I want to point out, this is the first time Respawn has ever tweeted an acknowledgement about a server capacity. Okay. Now, this means one of two things. You and I are awesome for not clowning on them like the rest of the internet does. Right. Or we're douchebags. Because if this means the whole time they've just been able to flip a switch and increase the server capacity and haven't been, then shame on them. Now, what I'm assuming happened is between everything that happened with Titanfall 1 and 2 over the last month and a half and this going down, you got people like literally there was one day I signed on and I think Wig and Courage were the only people playing Apex. Lulu, Noko, everybody stopped on Twitch. Everybody. Yeah. Even some of the YouTube streamers stopped for a little bit because it was so bad. So maybe EA finally was like, okay, we'll give you some server love here and port you over some other ones. Or they've had the ability to do this the whole time, and for a reason they're unwilling to publicly communicate, they just haven't.
Right. Interesting. That's a very interesting take.
And I'm really hoping it's an EA thing and not a Respawn thing, because
I mean, it's honestly, it's whatever contractual agreement they have with whomever owns the servers.
Well, there's that, but there's also like, how do they get more allocated?
Right.
Is it who makes the decision?
Well, so the way that if it's servers but owned by other people, then that means that they're not the only ones using those servers, and so that they are only contractually obligated to use a certain amount of space on a server, and so what it probably is they're like, we'll increase your server or whatever the fuck if you pay us more money. So it's probably one of those.
Which is one of those. I mean, they just announced, EA, the dumbasses at their conference announced that the game has made $2 billion in 2 years.
Right.
So they have the money. Spend the money on the game. EA. They're literally letting Respawn take so much flack that Respawn does not deserve.
Well, they don't care. They don't care, dude.
I know.
They only care about the dollar, dude. They only care about the dollar. But anyway, so it's been really shitty. Because all of us want to play this game that we love and enjoy, but it's just been so difficult. Like I even had to quit the other night. Like I just couldn't do anything. I lined up a PK shot. Literally, a guy was standing still in front of me. I lined it up, pulled the trigger, and it missed. So like I don't know. I had to remove myself from the situation.
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah. So hopefully things get better after this new patch. And hopefully we can just continue playing the game.
Yeah. So listeners out there, if you're struggling, we're with you. All of us. It's the whole community suffering. I saw, I've been watching a lot of Nice Wig lately. Just to be perfectly straight up about it. And he had a really good point of the whole, like, streamers get priority in queues and stuff like that. Dude, like, shut up. Like, tracking specific IP addresses and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's very
you need to go watch some more X-Files or something, bro, and chill out. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody is suffering. Yeah. If you like the game that much, you'll hang in there. If you don't, you'll move on to something else. I'm hanging in.
I'm hanging in. We're hanging in. Everybody's hanging in. Yeah, so for those of you listening, you know that you can check us out literally everywhere over the internet at PexPals Podcast. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We're everywhere. Check us out. And one of the cool things about us being all over those social media platforms is you can actually reach out and respond to us and talk to us, and we will talk about it right here on the show. we get a lot of people, or we get a couple regulars who come in and like to comment on our shows. Specifically, a good friend of ours named Ilis. We also have a good friend named J Bob. We got some new people commenting on our TikToks account. You got beans, and another one, Cart Gal, who are following us. So yeah, keep reaching out, keep talking to us. Our friend Jeremiah emailed us, and he said, speaking of content, he said that he'd like to see a new map. How do you feel about that, Joel?
Give it to me.
Give it to you.
Something is missing in the rotation. Whether it's either stop doing the hour and a half, like just do an hour on each map in the rotation.
Right, keep it fresh.
Because like, really, who's going to sit down and play the game for 4.5 hours to make sure they hit all 3 maps?
Right. Yeah. You're right.
Like that's a little much, dude. Like,
yeah,
especially with like big mod, I want to go there.
So PUBG has a feature where you can select the maps you want to go to.
Yes.
Would you want something like that?
I'm going to say no, because obviously the servers can't handle it. If I knew the servers could handle it, I would say rock and roll, brother.
Right.
Yeah. But I also understand the way the game is built and structured. Like, they take one whole thing out of the rotation because they're rebuilding the whole code.
Right.
I saw an interesting Twitter thread that was people were saying Apex doesn't fix anything, they add. And that's why, like, so for an Xbox, for example, like your computer players, you get these updates and they're 6 gigs. For me, every time there's a map change, it's another 60 gigabyte file.
Right.
And it's because I'm re-downloading all the old stuff because they're not changing anything. They're just stacking layers.
Right. Interesting.
Yes, which also might be why certain things aren't working well.
Yeah. No, that's true.
We can get it that's a whole coding talk.
That's the whole thing.
I'm on too much cold medicine for my brain to comprehend that. A bunch of ones and zeros, and you being smarter than me.
I see. I don't know how I feel right now about a new map, and not because I don't think a new map would be cool, but I think a new map wouldn't really give us the thing that we're looking for, because one of the reasons is like, I play a game called For Honor. I've mentioned this before, and we keep getting like new skins, and there's new events, and there's new characters and map updates and blah blah blah. But the one thing, and if you sat down with any actual For Honor player, like diehard like me, and you ask them, what is it you actually want in the game? And it's character balance. And balance between the characters, so that every character is not necessarily viable, but doesn't just get destroyed by one mechanic in the game. And so I think what it's hard, because games like very popular games like Apex Legends and Warzone and PUBG and stuff like that, they cannot do quality of life things because they're being forced to create content to make money.
To stay relevant,
to make money, not even like relevant, but just to make money. You gotta have skins. You gotta have skins and skins and skins and skins, so that people spend their money opening Apex packs and blah blah blah.
Well, I guess was it Siege? I actually saw this today. Right before the show. I meant to send it to you. It was I think it was a Reddit thread. It was a Twitter thread. One of the Kotu or one of those gaming sites suggested. Somebody brought this up on Reddit that, like, I think it was like Siege, one of those games that came out. It was out for 8 months, and there was just so many problems. They were like, "Yo, our whole rollout plan, we're stalling it. Here's the base game. We're making the base game free, which is pointless for Apex.
Right.
Here's the base game. We're fixing everything, and then we're going to give you a new year-long rollout plan."
Right. Then that makes sense.
And but it's like the article is like, this is the only time it's been done in modern video game history.
No, it's true. Like I oh my God, I'd be so happy if Respawn was just like, stop the presses. We are stopping everything. We are making every gun balanced. We are making every legend viable and reworking as it comes. And that's all we're doing. No new maps, no new blue skins.
I don't even need that. I just need them to fix the audio. That is it.
Well, yeah.
I will take the rest of the crap if they'll just fix the audio.
Agreed. That's what I'm saying. Like something, like fix the state of the current game so that it's just a solid game. Just make it a solid game.
Yeah.
I mean that's just me. That's just me.
I'm with it. Yeah. As Calvin said, follow us everywhere. Reach out. We always get some comments. Cart Gal was a new comment we got. She said she loves the podcast. She just started listening and she learned a lot of new cool tips and tricks from us. Calvin, I have been reevaluating my gameplay of late in this game. And so I want to leave the listeners with what I think is two really solid tips, and then your feelings on said tips, because you've helped me improve my gameplay a lot. Mm-hmm. One is like a point that we've flirted with a lot on the show. It's brought up. We've never made it a solid point.
Right.
But I think we even mentioned it as recently as possibly last episode or 2 episodes ago. If you are new to the game, or even if you're not new, if you're trying to improve your gunplay, run Loba, run Wraith, run Watson. Run characters that don't have overbearing movement abilities or super oppressive or super defensive / fortification abilities, because
don't die.
Churro. It's cinnamon.
Don't die.
Cinnamon.
I will finish your sentence. I'll finish your sentence.
Thank you.
What Joel is saying is use characters like Crypto or Watson or Loba who don't rely on being super aggro movement like Octane, who don't have aggro abilities like Revenant or Fuse, or who don't have like super hardcore defensive abilities like Gibraltar or even Rampart. And the reason for this is if you use a character whose abilities aren't necessarily like really do anything, like Loba's, it puts a shop down or you can throw the thing. They don't really do anything.
Yeah.
It forces you to focus on your gunplay, because you can't just drop a Gibby Dome. You can't just hit him with a Fuse Knuckle Cluster or the Mother Load. You have to shoot your gun. And that's a solid tip.
Yeah, and one thing, especially with Loba, like the bracelet has actually helped me be more confident, because you can use it aggressive or defensively. Like you can use it to reposition, or I've done it before where there's a team in a building and I've ringed over the building or to the top of the building, and then so when my team pushes from the bottom, I can slide in the top door and come flank the team. So I become more aware and appreciative of my gun skills, because I'm able to do plays that the character I love to just sit on and play, aka the fart box himself, Caustic, wouldn't be able to make that player,
Yeah. And one of the things that I hate to see, I don't know, it makes me so mad, is seeing an Octane use a med kit. If they're at half health, they have full shields and they're at half health and they use a med kit. Like, it drives me insane, because people like to play Octane because he can sprint, right? And that's literally the only reason why people like Octane, is because he sprints faster than everybody else. Like, there's really nothing else to him.
Yeah.
But to play Octane the appropriate way is to only heal your shield and ignore your health bar. That's the only way to. So if you take some damage and you run away and you use a bandage or a med kit, you're playing Octane wrong. That's why he has passive health regen. You're playing him wrong. You're supposed to play aggressive, pop a shield cell, pop a shield bat, and run back in. But that's like, honestly, that's how you're supposed to play him. Yeah. And so if you're new and you see everybody's playing, if you see it's Timmy playing Octane, or whatever streamer you're watching is playing Octane, don't just copy the streamer. Play somebody else, because you're not gonna use them right. Number one, not because you're bad, or anything like that, but like you should really focus on the fundamentals of the game, instead of just running and get yourself killed for no reason.
And on the note of Octane using a med kit, did I bring up the don't touch that med kit thing last episode, Calvin?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so that's a great point. Is like, I love watching the pro streamers play because they are only popping shields when they absolutely need to.
Yes.
I know so many friends that have a red shield and they'll get cracked to half. Oh, I got a shield up. Dude, we're in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
You don't need to dip around the rock. Just keep spraying that mother.
Yep.
Like, you are not cracked yet.
Yep.
Like, don't say you're cracked when you have half your shield. Don't,
Right.
Like I have made the freak out, but lately, especially ever since I've been doing this, these like recommendations like we just made using someone like Loba, for example.
Yeah.
That's my homegirl. I stand Loba fully.
Yeah.
I think you do too on this show.
Oh, for sure.
Like you just, if you have a good weapon, for example, you know, we're doing a tip segment, so I'm just gonna say it. Grab the Volt.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the Volt, just keep shooting the damn weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Screw your shields. If you hit them first, 9 times out of 10, even if you end with a sliver of health, you will beat them because you're not.
That's a very debatable thing to say.
I mean,
but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But also, you need to have that mentality to win your gunfights.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, obviously, it depends on if they have better armor than you, if you hit headshots, etc. There's obviously factors. But my point is like, you know, we used to make the joke. I think it was like episode 3. I made the joke about I was tired of PC players in cross-plat or crossplay that have the R301 because they have no fear.
Right. No fear.
Because they just run at me and just spray and I'm dead.
Yep.
Now, everyone can have that mentality. It doesn't have to be with that gun. But that also means, you know, you don't need to be full shields every second, you know?
Right.
Like, I've spent plenty of time running around the game with half health because I pop my shields, I pop 2 medis, and then I run to catch up with the team, or we go run and fight. You know,
some of my like most favorite fights are ones where like I don't get to heal, like as like counter like intuitive as that sounds, but like it's because we're constantly like, oh, blah blah, shoot, blah blah blah, you know, oh my god, I need a shield cell, like, oh, you know, blah blah, like I need this stuff, but I can't do it because if I back away, then Hammer's gonna get knocked out. You know, Joel, Toast, or whomever I'm playing with, they're gonna get knocked if I'm not out there helping them. You know what I mean? And so yeah, like that's a solid pro tip, solid a mediocre tip. Is play characters that force you to shoot, that you don't just rely on their abilities. Play characters that force you to shoot, because the shooting is probably the hardest thing in this game. Number 1. Number 2. Don't worry about healing all the time. If you have the time, do it. But but you don't need to do it every time you get shot.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
And the flip side of that, and I don't want to go too into detail because of our time. You know, utilize the resources of the internet. Once you've gotten your gun game down and you have a good character, you know, I've already brought him up twice this show. I might as well bring him up one more time. I've been watching Nice Wig a lot, and it's been encouraging me to dust off the old Gibraltar. I know how to push better. I know how to save the ult better. I know how to. I really know how to utilize my bubble, his bubble a lot better. Like, once you've got the gun game down, choose a legend that you're good with and use it. Like, do you know how many times I hear it from all my friends except Calvin? I'm just kidding. I hear it from Calvin too. But when it's like, yo, Joel, I played with this Caustic the other day and he sucked, and it made me appreciate how good you are as Caustic. Like, because I like, you know, when I might not be the best with my ult with Caustic, but I know when to block a door. I know when to use the mines for cover inside of a doorway.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like the tip I gave a couple episodes ago, when you see the mines up, you hear a crypto drone, you shoot the mines because then they have to push through your gas. You know, like, I understand the character better than I think most do, you know? Especially on the mediocre level. So use the internet, watch the videos, watch the streamers to play the people you like. Like, once you get the gun game with the basics of the game down, find that legend you're good at. Calvin is just a good gamer. He likes to hop around between multiple legends, and that's okay because it works for him. Me, I specifically do better when I stick to my wheelhouse of, you know, Caustic, Gibby, Loba, and Valkyrie. You know, like, I specifically perform way higher with those legends. You know that. I know that. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's I think that's a good, like, good solid wrap up of everything. Thanks for checking out episode 25 of Pex Pals. Don't forget to check us out everywhere on the internet. at PexPals Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. If you want to email us, if that's more your bag, check us out or email us at pexpalspodcast@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a rating, a review, subscribe to us. I can't even do that. I don't even know.
Yeah, you can. I think
on some of them. But leave us a rating, leave us a review, because it actually helps us. And the more of you guys doing it, the better. We're gaining more and more popularity across the globe, and so we're getting more and more people in Canada, Mexico, the UK, Germany, Spain, France, like everywhere. It's dope. And
especially in the last week, we've had a lot of UK listeners. So
yeah, we even had a couple of listeners in Iran and a couple other places in the Middle East. So
all of our Pex Pals across the pond, thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. But yeah, please leave us a review, leave us a rating, leave us a comment if you want to comment, if you want to talk to us, reach out to us on anything like that. Check me out at CowVan on TikTok, on Twitch at CowVan Man, on Twitter, and of course JoelCupcake. Check him out worldwide. JoelCupcake everywhere. Joseph Cupcake, are you going to sign us out?
Yes, but not in the way you think.
Oh, how are you doing it?
Caustic Mains rejoice.
Okay.
The necrotic skin is back in the shop. Get it while you can, because we don't know when it's coming back. For the rest of you that are stupid and don't play Caustic, I can't say the beak thing because they hurt the beak. Calvin, what are we supposed to say?
I left this to you.
Okay. Remember, folks.
Wait, they extended rank a week. They extended rank 1 week.
They extended rank a week. So, for you mediocre gamers, when you get the shitty teammates, when you get that early wipe, when the teammates get disconnected because the servers are still blowing chunks, when in doubt, rat it out.
Bye.